These discs are 30 years old. The Discraft Cyclone was approved in 1993, and you've probably never even heard of this mold before. Yeah, that one is pretty good. But you have probably heard of the Discraft Passion. From what I understand, or at least what I heard, the Passion is a retooled version of the Cyclone. The profiles of these, they are kind of similar. Definitely not identical. Actually, they might be a little bit identical. I'm gonna play some Safari Golf again for fun because I really want to compare these and see like is the Passion just a retooled version of the Cyclone, or are they actually completely different molds? You can see right here, extra long driver, and then extra long driver. Something to note too is that this one is in the Elite X plastic, which I believe was like one of the most premium blend plastics back then, maybe. And then this one is in the Pro D plastic, which is like the baseline plastic for Discraft. I'm gonna try to throw a slight hyzer because these are all neutral discs, so I think trying to throw them flat is just not gonna be the best like showcase of the flight. So I'm gonna go with the Passion first. Oh yeah, hyzer flip straight, a little bit of fade. All right, now I'm gonna go with the Elite X Cyclone. Oh yeah, way more flippy, little bit of integrity at the end. That one flipped all the way over. I don't know if the Pro D one has like any chance. All right, but we're gonna try. Ooh, okay. Dude, this is gonna be fun. Cool thing is like when I first heard that the Passion is just a retooled version of the Cyclone, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I realized that I had a couple of old Cyclones from when I was a kid, and I was like, that might could be like a really cool comparison video. And as always, I want to know y'all's thoughts on this. I mean, if you look at them side by side, the only difference to me looks like the wing might be just a little bit longer on the Passion, making it like larger diameter than the Cyclone, which could add some stability. I'm not really sure, but again, all the stability is going to be really tough because the premium plastic in the 90s versus the premium plastic now is not even comparable. But I think it'll be a fun video. So the Elite X is technically a little bit past the basket. Ooh. The baseline plastic, oof, next hole is 310 feet again. It's blind, just really kind of dead straight from the tee pad. I'm gonna throw these on more of like a just kind of an Anheuser line and see if I can get them just to drift all the way to the right and see if they have like any fight in them whatsoever. And then the next hole I'm gonna try it on forehand. Honestly, there's just like so much nostalgia with these discs. I remember when I was a kid, just like going out behind my house and trying to throw these as far as I could, and it's like extra long driver. I was like, oh man, it's just gonna unlock so much distance for me. Something about throwback stamps and branding and stuff just looks so cool sometimes. And honestly, I am curious if these discs really are just kind of the exact same thing. We'll go with this Pro D one. We'll go with it first. That might be, oh, okay, wow, that's actually fighting out a lot more than I thought it would. Hit a tree. Oops. Uh, Maybe I should put a little bit more on it. All right, now I'm gonna throw this Elite X Cyclone. Look how like crazy of a gash. Yeah, that one's way more understable. Might have got like a little bit more of a cut roll though. And then the Passion. That one had a little bit more drift. Hope that didn't hit the road behind the basket. This first tie-dye one, this has got to be the most like broken or understable. Again, probably because of the huge gash, but it was the shortest. The other two actually kind of made it up here though, so we'll have a putt with those. I do think if I remember correctly when I was a kid, this is the one that I threw the most, which is probably why it's the most broken. Ooh. Urgh. So 2 holes in, first hole being like a hyzer, and the second hole being more of an anhyzer. They fly almost identical. I do think that this yellow, the one in the middle, I think that Pro D one is a little bit more just similar, I guess, to the Passion. I think this other one, the tie-dye one, I'm pretty sure it's just very broken, so it's really, really flippy. But so far, they are flying like extremely identical. It's really looking like the Passion is just a retooled version of the Cyclone, but you know, we're about to put it to the real test, which is the forehand. This is only like a 225-foot forehand. It's very intentional because I don't think I'm going to be able to forehand these that well, but we're going to try. All right, we'll go Passion first. I mean, it's not bad. All right, the tie-dye Cyclone. Okay, that actually held up a little bit more. It's important to note that I'm throwing these very, very low power, pretty nose up, and a whole lot of hyzer. But still, though, the fact that these have been able to hold up even so far, even like in a baseline plastic from like 20-something years ago when I bought it, that's crazy. Turn. Okay, that one is like, ooh, might not be stable anymore. All right, so with an exception of the last shot, those held up pretty well for just a little chip shot hyzer. I don't think by any means you'd be able to, unless you're just like really, really saucy with a forehand. I don't think you'd be able to actually get those to go decent distance. But you might go with this. I'm curious to see what this one's going to do on a distance line because it has like a shocking amount of stability, especially to be as old as it is. Oh boy. All right, before we try to do like some distance lines, I'm going to try to throw like an ace into this beautiful sunset that we're having. First shot, it was more, I kind of threw flat at like 310 to see what they would do. And there was like some good and decent movement. Then I threw pretty high anhyzer line. They had more stability than I thought they would. And then on a like just a chip shot forehand hyzer, they held up pretty decent too. But I'm gonna try a little bit more of a steep hyzer and see if they just still have a crazy amount of flip up even with like a really good amount of hyzer. Passion first. So that Passion I imagine is going to be the most stable. All right, tie-dye one. Huh, that one swings. Definitely took that one a little bit wider, but it kind of flipped up and pushed a lot straighter. But still had some good fight. I don't know what this one's going to do. That one had a little bit more torque than the other ones. It was a little bit lower too. I'll throw these on some distance lines though. It's probably what y'all want to know about anyway, to see how they can handle like a little bit more powerful of a shot. So before I go through these on a distance line, as always, thanks for watching. Stay snappy. Love y'all. I definitely think the Passion is a retooled version of the Cyclone. They feel too similar in the hands. They look almost identical if you look at the rims of the disc. And on top of that, even after like 20 years of shelf life, they fly almost identical to the Passion. But you tell me. I don't know. I hope to get maybe 2 out of these 3 to go about 350 feet. I mean, 350 for an 8-speed or a 7-speed as they call the Cyclone is pretty far. I'm going to go with the tie-dye one first. I think it's going to take the most hyzer and probably not going to go the furthest because it's very, very flippy. Ooh, if it'll fight out. Fight out, fight out! Baseline Cyclone. Yeah. That one is pretty good. Passion. Yeah, I mean, the Passion's obviously going to go the furthest.